Hello guys, welcome back again. I hope all of you are doing well and also preparing for your exams. In this video segment, I am going to tell you about the medium of pollination. It can be divided into two portions. One is biotic factor, second one is abiotic factor. Let's come to the first point, that is biotic factor. In this topic, we are going to study pollination medium. It's mean, what does it mean? Pollination medium. It's mean what type of factor can help in this process. So two type of factor can help in this process. First one is biotic factor. Let's divide it. First one is biotic factor and second one is abiotic factor. Okay guys, so if you haven't seen the video of pollination, then I will share a link. First check it out, then come to this portion, because for before knowing this factor you have to know what's the meaning of pollination. So let me tell you what's the meaning of pollination. It is a process in which your pollen grain transfer into the stigma part, and in this procedure two type of factor can help to transfer the pollen grain. First one is biotic, second one is abiotic factor. Biotic factor in which your many kind of animals comes in this part. Bees can be the factor that can transfer pollen grain from one flower to another flower, either or one plant to another plant. Okay, so if you haven't seen the video of pollination, I will share a link in the description. First check that video, after that come to this topic. Now let's talk about biotic factor. These factor can help pollen grain to transfer from one plant to another or one flower to another flower. Let's say entomophily. In this portion, many kind of insect help in the transferring of pollen grain. So this pollination can be done by different kind of insect, and insect comes in orthopoda section. Okay, so these process can be done by insects, and mainly your bees are the main factor. Bees are helping 80% criteria in this whole pollinator factors. Okay, now second part is biotic factor is chiropterophily. Chiropterophily is the procedure where your bat can be the medium of transferring your pollen grain. So if chiropterophily, so this can be done by different kind of bats. Okay, batman type bats. Okay, if bats can transfer pollen grain from one flower to another flower, then this process can be called as an chiropterophily. If your snail is doing this process, then we can call it malmacophily. Then in this procedure your snail will be the helping factor of transferring pollen grain from one flower to another flower or one plant to another plant. Okay, now come to the another part, that is ophiophyly. In this portion, snake can be the part of this pollination. If a snake is circling around or moving around upon or above one flower, then the pollen grain can be adhesive to that body and can be transferred from one plant to another or one flower to another flower. So these can be the biotic factor. Okay, now come to the second part, abiotic factor. So these are the non-living factor can be help in the procedure of pollination. Now let's see what is abiotic factor. First one is zoophily. Abiotic factor means non-living portion. So first one is air, second one is water. If water is doing this procedure, then we can call it hydrophily. Hydrophily. Okay. Now hydrophily can be divided into two portions. If your pollination is going on the surface of the plant, these are the pollen grain, then this will be called as epihydrophily, because whole portion is going on the surface of the water body. If the pollination is going down under the water level, let's see, it is a submerged plant and pollination is going on under the water level, then we can call it hypohydrophily. 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 Okay. So about now you have to take care this one thing, that if you are completing your pollination by biotic factor, then you have to make sure that your flower is very attractive and very colorful, because you are going to need uh, many kind of animals or many kind of insect to attract them. So if your flower is very attractive and colorful, then many kind of insect will be going down to that flower and pollination will be going on. But if you animal if abiotic factor is going down in this process, in that case your flower can be unattractive. Okay. So water is the first one. Second one can be air. If air is transferring pollen grain from one flower to another flower, then it can be anemophily. We can call it anemophily. And in this portion, pollen grain should be high in the counting, and lighter in weight, because we have to transfer them by the help of the air, so they have to be lighter in weight. Okay. Third one, they can be unattractive, but they should have wings on the pollen grain. Wings, like spinous pollen grain. Example is spinous pollen grain. Okay. So in this video I have told you that pollination medium can be divided into two portions, biotic and abiotic factor. If any living organ is helping in this procedure, then we can call it biotic factor. If any non-living portion is helping in this process, then we can call it abiotic factor. In this portion, abiotic factor, we have two things. If air is transferring, then we can call it anemophily. Is if water is transferring pollen grain, then we can call it hydrophily. Hydrophily can be divided into two portions. If hydrophily is going above the water level, then we can call it epihydrophily. If it is going down or under the water level, then we can call it hypohydrophily. Let's come to the biotic factor. If different kind of insect is helping in this process, then we can call it entomophily. If any bats is helping in this process, we can call it chiropterophily. And snail will be helping in this process, then we can call it malmacophily. And ophiophilia, snake will be helping in this procedure. Now you have to make sure, if biotic factor is going down in this procedure, then your flowers should be very attractive and colorful. That's why different kind of insect and animals will be attracting to that flower and will help in the procedure. Now abiotic factor flower can be unattractive, but you have to make sure that your pollen grains should have wings, and uh, counting should be high, because it can be lost in the environment, and it should be lighter in weight, because air is transferring pollen grain from one flower to another flower. That's it. If you wanna learn what's the meaning of pollination, I will share a link, check out in the description. Thanks, I will be meeting you in my next video.